Welcome, guys. Hey, my name is Danny. This is TechRage, if you didn't know already, and I'm doing a overview of Zorin OS 12. Now, this is like my 10th take doing this because this overview tends to go over 20 minutes. Now, although that is a decent time, at least for me, I think that's too long for an overview for a distribution. So I'm trying to keep this at 15 minutes, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to fail. So, whatever. So, I'm running Zorin OS 12 Ultimate. Right now, that is the paid version of Zorin. Now, the difference between that and the free version, which is Core, right? You'll see here on their homepage. Right. So if I were to click Ultimate, I go down below, you'll see right here. Now, you won't have all these pre-installed applications such as the media and business applications. So these pertain to like MyPaint, Scribus, Inkscape, and so on and so forth. And there are quite a few applications like GNU Cache, GNU Cache, however you want to pronounce that. And yeah, but a lot of these applications you can pre-install, you can install yourself. So just keep that in mind, so you don't have to feel discouraged when it comes to applications. Now, one thing you don't get, you do get all these games here as well that aren't in Core. The games aren't installed on Core, so just keep that in mind. One thing you don't get is the Mac OS, the GNOME 2, and the Unity desktop layout. Now, one of the appeals when it comes to Zorin OS, one of the cool effects is the fact that you can change the overall appearance of the desktop. So if you want to get a feel of Mac, if you want to try out Unity, if you want to try out GNOME 2, you can do that. GNOME 3, GNOME 3 is already included. But yeah, you can try those out here. There's a total of 6 layouts, and I'll show you how those look. Another thing you don't get is the video wallpaper. That's it's under the Zorin Background Plus application. So that's this right there that just showed that little animation that you see there on that wallpaper. Another thing you don't get is the Zorin Premium support. Now, one added benefit, this is like a main benefit when it comes to new users, right? And I would really suggest, if you could spare the money, right? It's like £15, I believe, if you're in the UK or whichever country uses pounds. I believe that is pounds, or it could be euros, but I'm not really quite sure. Really, I paid $15 US at the time when I purchased it. It was on the first day. Could have sworn it said £13, and it came out to be $15 US. So I'm not really sure. I guess they had put it up $2 recently. But yeah, if you can, guys, if you have the money, I would really recommend installing this, especially for noobs. And I'll go more into that more into why. So, premium support, you get direct support from the developers. So you get the extra benefit. You get that one-on-one help. If you have any questions, if there's a bug, this and that, contact them. You have to insert this code, right, just so that they know that you're a premium, you're a ultimate user. And then, they'll email you. So that's for that. Right. Now you see I'm running one of the layouts right now. This is the Mac OS layout. So it's pretty cool. I tend to have this on by default. Just like it's neater. Now, another thing, keep in mind, a few of these applications are not installed on Ultimate. And I installed these myself. So just keep that in mind if you're wondering why, it's on an Ultimate and Core. Now you know. Right, so this is the layout. Now, I'm change here, type in Zorin. Right, so a lot of the pre-made applications that they have built themselves will be titled under Zorin. So I'm just on the first one here, Zorin web browser. So it's just a neat little application. So you can install your web browsers without having to go into the App Store or anything like that. Now you'll get Chromium, Web, and Midori, but you won't get Firefox pre-installed or in this menu. but once I installed it myself, then it appeared here. Another thing, like I showed you, that cool animation. It's one thing you don't get in Core. So click on here and voila. So it's pretty cool. Type in Zorin again. And before I go into appearance, let me just go into their pre-made applications, other applications I mean. So one of them being Maps. So this is a Google Maps alternative, I would say. It's pretty neat, pretty fast, simplistic. Let me type in Madagascar. There. Now you get related information pertaining to that. Now I'm going to click the first one here. And there you go. So it's pretty cool. Pretty neat. Fast. I was really impressed by the speed. The search feature is pretty cool. So I highly recommend that. Another thing is weather. There you go. So it's a pretty neat application, pretty light. I like it. Worked for me. I didn't have any issues launching it. As for the rest of these pre-installed applications, what else here? And that's really it. That's really it for that. And the GNOME store, if you're wondering. There you go. Right. Pretty snappy. Now, going into as to why I think you should purchase Ultimate is because the pre-built functionality, right? They included the setting here, appearance, which lets you change the layout, as I showed you before on the web page, right? And I think that's great for new users because this gives them the chance to change their desktop layout and change, see which one they like or don't like. But of course, these layouts have a Zorin twist to them, so that has a Zorin theme. It's not exactly like those layouts, but they try to deliver as best as they can. And I mean, I like them. They're pretty cool, right? And with all those added benefits, like I mentioned before, such as premium support, it's as to a few reasons why I think you should purchase Zorin. Now, another one being, right, the amount of effort that they give into this. Right? They really made sure that one of the things like theming went throughout all the applications that they can get their hands on. And it shows, because I have launched many applications, whether it's Libre, you name it, and all of them had the theming. And also, it could be whichever color scheme you go through, and I'll show you that in a bit. So, amongst a few reasons as to why I think you should purchase it. But let me go into layout now. So, let me click the one here. Now, this is the one you get by default. It's like the Windows 10 feel. So you see, you get your icon of the applications will be here. Oh, another cool thing I like is how whichever favorites you have, the ones that you have here on the dock or whether it be on a panel, right, they'll transition with the different layouts. So I thought it was a pretty cool thing. So click there, and now you see it's kind of like a Windows 10 feel. Now I'm going to click the next layout. Now this is more of a Windows 7. You can tell because the titles are stretched out, so it displays the title of the application, and the menu is a bit different, not really different. So the next layout that you get within Core, that on Core is the GNOME 3 layout. So you see that one. Click here. Right now, the best way I can show you is because I will save up here. Now all the current apps will be displayed here. The desktops, you'll see here. I can click down here, click show applications, and my applications will be displayed. So it works really well. It really does mimic, GNOME 3. I really like it. It's pretty cool. Now if I click down here, now the row down here are the ones that are included in Ultimate. So unfortunately you won't be able to get these if you get Core. So this is GNOME 2. You can tell because the way that the items are displayed. Now, of course, like I said, these have a Zorin, spin to it, so it's not exactly like those desktops. See that? Now this is Unity. Now it's really is like a refreshed version of Unity. I'd honestly have to say this looks way better than Ubuntu's Unity because I hate that gray color scheme. My gosh, I hate it with a passion. It's ugly, but I do like the start menu. I'm one of those few people out there that don't hate Unity. I just hate their color scheme. Right? I do like the menu. I like the appeal. I like the the initial appeal of it because it's Unity. It's Ubuntu once you see it. And I don't think any other desktop environment does that when coming from Linux, but that's just me. So you see it has like a transparent view here. I'm gonna click show applications, or see if I go up here, it shows whichever applications are there hiding away. Show applications. Now you see it's not exactly like the start menu that's on the Unity Ubuntu, but yeah, they try their best to mimic it. So that's for that. Now the last layout, like I showed you before, is the Mac layout, which is the one I have always because I just like it. It's clean, pretty cool. If I click up here, see, I'll get the options to my desktop, such as home, documents, downloads, software, settings, and then also my activities overview. So now if I were to go down here, let me just open this up real quick. Okay, 12 minutes. I don't want to go any longer than 15, maybe even 20. Okay, so we go down here. Now you have the option to display icons on your desktop. Now I have this off, and you'll see if I were to turn this on, this will actually turn off the background animation. So you can't have them on. You have to have one off and one on in order for you to use the other one. So if we go down here, now you could change your interface options. So you can change options like the title bar buttons. So this would be the X and minimize option here on this window. So if I click right, now you see it'll be here. Put them back on left. Then also you can change the window scaling as well as the animations. But you can rather leave them on or off. Now, theming. Everything pertaining to theming would be here. So right now I'm running it on a black and blue type color scheme. You'll see here. Now the default color scheme is like a white blue. See there, and they have many others. There's like a neon green black color effect. You get purple and white. You get red and white. And one really cool thing is that, like I said, this goes throughout every single application. So you see, I'm gonna click the neon green and black. Click the Software Center, and there you go, the GNOME Software Center. You see, and it shows everywhere, even within the notifications. So I think that's really cool, really cool. So if I go down here, now I have other options such as changing the theming to the windows of the applications. So I click here, choose between the other two. I don't want to touch that. Then also you could change icons. So this Windows here is useful. So say if you install themes manually, you'll be able to access them here and choose between them. And lastly, you can change the theming to the shell. Now another thing you could do is changing fonts, applications, windows, documents, and then lastly you can change your panel settings. So you can change whether you want to have this panel appear at the top or bring it to the bottom, right? You could do intelligent hide, you could change the height as well as the opacity, and then to choose whether you want to show applications within the menu. Now another thing too, between changing interfaces, because this has to take, there will be some sort of error, and one thing I've seen, like if I were to bring this to the bottom, that it would overlap with the Mac dock. Now I'm pretty sure this will be resolved simply after a reboot. Then you'll see that the dock will be on top of the panel. So just make sure to check that out. Whenever something like that happens, just reboot and it should adjust just fine. Put this back to the top where it belongs. And I forgot to change the theme, but whatever. So, one last thing, guys. I installed this on my ThinkPad T520, right? I completely wiped it, installed Ultimate, and it works really well. I'm really liking it. Really cool appearance. I really like the theming, especially the dark theme, because it's better for my eyes. But I have experienced a bit of a lag when it comes to animations like this, when it comes to showing applications. Right. I'm running a ThinkPad T520, and that is a couple years old. I'd say like since 2007, maybe 2006. I'm not really quite sure. Right. And it's running a Core i5, but an older gen. So I would suggest for you, if you're going to use Ultimate or Core, I would suggest that you have a decent to high-end desktop, because the animations will show, the lagginess will show. And it has showed on my ThinkPad. So just keep that in mind. But for those who have lower end laptops, I would say probably like a Core i3s, and a very low end graphics card. Or if you're even using internal graphics, I would suggest that you wait for the Lite edition. So one thing about Zorin is that they release a couple editions when it comes to their latest OS version. So if I were to scroll down here on their page, you'll see here more editions coming soon. Zorin OS 12 Business, Lite, and Education editions will be available within the next few weeks. Stay tuned to the blog to be the first to know. So just if you want to know when those are released, go to their blog on their page, on their website, I mean. And I would really suggest for you to install the Lite version, because if you want to get a lighter experience of the desktop, then I would really suggest that. I'm not really sure if there will be an Ultimate Lite edition, a Lite Ultimate edition. I'm not really sure. I don't really remember them doing that, but it very well could be. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I really suggest if you try out Core, or if you're considering, just installing, Zorin as your first ever desktop distribution, please consider Ultimate. Right, because there's a lot of added benefits, especially for the new users, like the premium support and changing the interfaces, right? But also remember, this helps the developers, right? This is all open source, right? And these people do their best to try and deliver the best experience that they can, for whatever software it may be, right? And donating to them helps them push forward. It helps them do what they do. Right, so if you enjoy any software, right, not just a distribution, distribution can be considered software. It actually is, but for whatever, if it's open source, consider donating $1, $2, your whole life savings. It's really up to you, So just consider it, guys. Highly suggest it. This is like my third Ultimate Edition from Zorin OS, and I have liked my experience overall with those. There have always been, there have been a few issues when it came to those past Ultimate Editions, but at least with OS 12, I've actually really liked it, and I've had a really great out-of-the-box experience. And since I've used it, it's been like over a week now since it first came out, and I haven't had any bad experience with it. It's been working smoothly. Everything works fine, so I'm really happy with it. All right, guys. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Take care. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. It's a holiday here within the United States. And for all those who are international, I hope you had a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.